birthday, I'm going to be eligible for Medicare. And so I want to pass to President Peyton. I want to talk about Jesus help me to take care of me. I want to frame this in a prayer. Jesus help me to take care of me. Pastor Peyton and I shared some time at the National Baptist Convention in Kansas City, Missouri. And while there, I had an opportunity to pull into a corner and inquire to Pastor Dr. Stephen Thurston. And I wanted to ask him something, and I wanted to speak to him about the fact that already in 2016, over 500 young men have been killed in his city. And of the 500 young men who've been killed, over 400 of the young men are African Americans. And I wanted to know from him, because if anybody would know, I thought he would know, if whether or not there was a Chicago church anywhere that had 500 young men on his membership roll. And he confessed, almost in pain, that not one of the many, many churches have anywhere near having 500 young men on its roll. You know, I'm always trying to search for ways to challenge the church. And if the church doesn't have a problem and doesn't see a problem with 500 young men being killed in the streets in the space of 8 months, and at the same time no church having not even 100 young men on its church roll, we have failed, brethren. Are y'all with me? We have failed in what I believe is primary to the church. And the primary ministry of the church is to make the gospel real in the lives of people who live in our homes and in our communities and in our neighborhoods and in our cities. Making the gospel real does not happen with us sponsoring programs, having breakfasts, dinners, luncheon services, or even conventions. Making the gospel real is not just about teaching and preaching about Jesus' birth, his life, his death, and his resurrection. Making the gospel real, young Reddick, in this world has but one major goal, and that's to get people to know that they matter to God and that their life can have a positive outcome with God. Just to get people to know that they matter to God. And we need to somehow crystallize all of our Bible studies and all of our Sunday school lessons, Baptist doctrines or whatever doctrine, our revivals, our retreats, and our crusades into one focus, and that is to meet the ache and need that people have, and that is to know that they truly matter to God. Young men cannot justify killing one another when they know they matter to God. Teenage girls won't get caught up in sex scandals with 30 policemen from several different cities when they know they matter to God. Yet the only way people will ever know that they matter to God, they will have to matter to some people who matter to themselves. Y'all still didn't get it. Are y'all with me? Amen. And people, we've got a whole lot of cameras now to take these pictures. Most of us are familiar with cameras, and we've learned something in photography, and all you got to do is Google, and you can learn more than you ever want to know. But we've learned something about taking pictures, and that the quality of the picture is determined by the focus. Are y'all with me? Yeah. The quality of the picture, BK, is determined by the focus. Focus has to do with light angles being manipulated by the lenses. And photographers have learned that the intent of a picture is determined by the focus of the lens. And when a lens is focused one way, we get one picture. But when it's focused another way, we get another kind of picture. And I want to invite you, my brothers, to join with me in this familiar passage and exegetically focus your hermeneutical lens up on Jesus in the light of someone doing just one thing, taking care of himself. Are y'all with me? And I know our focus is usually up on the woman and what Jesus does for her. And some of us have even focused our lens up on the Pharisees and what Jesus had to say to him. However, I want you to just shift your hermeneutical lens and focus in on Jesus in verse 37 and 38. And just take a snapshot of a picture of a man getting a foot massage. Y'all not gonna help me. It's right there. It's just stay right there. It's right there. It's right there. Stay right there. Don't be running off nowhere else in the text. Stay right there on that scene, and you're gonna catch a 2-verse snapshot of Jesus getting a foot massage. Well, if snapshot don't work for you, perhaps video. Just stay right there. Move through the 2 verses, and you're gonna get a video of Jesus getting a foot massage. And if you can clear out the fuzziness of your preconceived notions, if you can get rid of your embedded theology, and if you can dismiss the residue of your childhood Sunday school lesson, you're going to see a man having a reflexology experience. Are y'all going to help me? And I know the grumbling Pharisee is there, and I know the woman is there, and she's been tagged as a sinner. And I even know that there's some other folks at the table. But everything at the table happened because of one scene. Are y'all with me? Everything crystallizes on the one scene, and this one scene captures what I believe is an overlooked teaching of the Lord Jesus, and that is the love of, y'all need to get this, and that is the love of God can more easily show up in people that take care of themselves. Are y'all with me? And that's what this sermon is all right. You got it. Here is the proposition, y'all, that the ministry of Jesus teaches us that the love of God more naturally proceeds through people who take care of themselves. People will most likely know that they matter to God when we start acting like we matter enough to God to start taking care of ourselves. Are y'all gonna help me? And I know we like to color the text with all of these Christological themes such as Savior, Christ, Redeemer, Holy One, and even Prophet like the Pharisee did. But a clear focus reveals a man getting what most of us could benefit from, and that's a foot massage. Y'all not gonna help me. And I've studied the culture. I know I ain't way out in some hermeneutical left field. I've studied the culture. And the only thing that's unusual within the scene is that the woman let her hair down and how expensive the oil was. Are y'all with me? Everything else in the scene is consistent with early Jewish culture that when guests arrive for a meal, they receive basic reflexology. Are y'all with me? Reflexology or foot massage is the application of appropriate pressure to specific points and y'all talk to me somebody, and areas on the feet and the hands and even perhaps the ear. And reflexologists believe that these areas and these reflex points, they correspond to different body organs and neural systems, and that pressing them has a beneficial effect upon the organ and the person's general health. In the days of Jesus, they not only refreshed and renewed the guest, but they also reflected and revealed the heart of the host. Talk to me, somebody. People provided foot massages. They made the guests look good, but also made them look good. Are y'all still here? And this text literally blows my mind, Pastor Griffin. It blows my mind because if you just take a casual reading of Luke's gospel from chapter 1 to chapter 7 where we've landed, and we'll find the busyness of Jesus. Just in 7 chapters, he's already been tempted by the devil. He's already been run out of town for preaching a prophetic message. He's healed a man in the synagogue with an unclean spirit. He healed Simon Peter's mother-in-law of a fever. He healed many others of the sicknesses and diseases. He preached a multi-city revival. He led a teaching campaign on the lake of Gennesaret. He supported a fishing expedition. He recruited disciples. He ministered through the roof. He healed a paralytic. He restored the withered man's hand. He cast out unclean spirit. He prepared and taught the Beatitude. He argued with the publicans and the Pharisees. He healed the centurion's servant. He stopped the funeral and called the widow's son back from the clutches of death. We still got 17 chapters yet to go. One filled with his own blood. But here you got in chapter 7, after all of that, he did need a foot massage. Talk to me, somebody. Yeah, you ought to land somewhere. Get a foot massage. The day, where's Ambrose? I saw Ambrose tipping here. All right, he's a corner preacher. All right, the day, Ambrose, I learned a phrase, he echoed it the other day. It's called compassion fatigue. Are y'all with me? And compassion fatigue is a condition that affects people who care too deeply about other people. Are y'all with me? It's when your emotions short circuit from caring too much about somebody else. Are y'all with me? Jesus, he never used the term. It wasn't vogue in his day, but it does seem that his culture understood that people who are in the caring business need to take care of themselves before they suffer emotional short circuitry. See, the practice of a foot massage was Jesus' culture responding to the need that people who care for other people need to take care of themselves. Now, I know some of you, perhaps you ain't never had a foot massage. Some of y'all too ticklish, and some of y'all think your feet stink, so you don't want to expose nobody, and I know you ain't never had one, let alone a full body massage. But yet we need to note this. We need to note, Pastor Fort, that one of the primary reasons that black people were brought to America was to take care of white people. That's the only reason, that's why we was here. We didn't come over here cruising. No. We wasn't we was on the slave ship. We were brought here to take care of white people. In fact, there's a city right across the bay, Marin City. It represented a village of black people who primarily took care of white people. What you getting at, preacher? What I'm getting at is that our legacy in America is defined by a whole lot of caregiving. Are y'all with me? We are a people who expend a lot of emotional capital caring for other people. And I suspect that much of the mental illness within our community is related to the fact that we are suffering from compassion fatigue. We have taken care of so many other people that we have forgotten how to take care of ourselves. Am I talking to anybody? And let me put this right on out here, y'all. Church, for so many of us, is just another outlet to continue taking care of other people. Ministry is about caring. Ministry is about making the love of God real in the world. Ministry is about addressing the single most need that people have, and that is to know that they matter to God. Yet when we don't take care of ourselves, the love of God does not naturally flow through us. We might do some caring thing, but it ain't real. Y'all not gonna help me. It's forced, it's contrived, it's lacking in sincerity, and when you get to you say, I'm sure glad that nigga gone. Yeah, and I know too many preachers and too many pastors who have cared for others so much that they don't have anything left in the tank to care for the people who they need to take care of. Preachers' wives never feel love because the preacher is too tired. The preacher's suffering from compassion fatigue. He can't even love his wife in an authentic way. The other week, a preacher walked away from a 3,000-member church because he didn't know how to take care of himself. We've been getting report after report of young, gifted preachers blowing their brains out because they don't know how to take care of themselves. Churches can kill preachers from compassion fatigue. And then you're going to go to the union, and the preachers in the union going to wear you out. I ain't promoting foot massages, although I like them. Say amen. But what I am promoting a Jesus who used a foot massage to teach us how to take care of ourselves. Well, here is the relevant question. How does Jesus use reflexology to broaden our theology? Are y'all with me? What is it about Jesus' foot massage that can help us to take better care of ourselves? Now, I wish this could be deep, but this ain't even deep, y'all. It ain't even deep. Because the first thing Jesus teaches us about taking care of ourselves, and that is that we need to do it even while doing ministry in a hostile context. Jesus took care of himself even while doing ministry in a hostile context. It's right there in the Bible. If you don't believe me, ask Harry Ford. It's right there. It says right there. It said, then one of the Pharisees asked him to eat with him. And he went to the Pharisee's house and sat down to eat. Now, y'all do know that the Pharisees represented Jesus' staunchest enemy. Are y'all with me? The Pharisees believed that they represented the status quo of Jewish faith, and according to them, Jesus didn't fit the status quo, so he was an outsider. They believed that anyone who represented God had to be one of them, and it didn't matter what good they did. If they were not a Pharisee, they were evil. And so the name Pharisee, it literally means separated one. Yet Jesus accepted the invitation to dine with the Pharisees right there in the home of a Pharisee in a hostile context and got a foot massage. Y'all still ain't getting it, see? Because you need to know, we live in a Pharisee culture with a Pharisee-producing church among Pharisaic people. American culture is always pushing us to do more, to work more, to care more, to serve more, and to give more of ourselves to others. The American culture is the enemy to self-care. Are y'all with me? The black community is hostile to self-care. We work on jobs with people who always want us to give them some more. Our culture has fooled us into believing that nothing can be done without us and that we need to be involved in everything. And that we serve church, and all the churches want to see us as just see us giving them some more. Talk to me, somebody. Where are the self-care enterprises in the black community? Huh? There ain't no real massage parlor, not in the black community. You might get something there, but there ain't no massage. You might get an STD. Talk to me, somebody. We have fast food. We got beauty parlors. We got liquor store and dope houses to help us to escape from compassion fatigue. We can't even come to church and worship God without somebody adding to our compassion fatigue. Yet Jesus teaches us that even in the midst of an anti-self-care culture, that we need to create spaces where we can take care of ourselves. Like the Pharisees of Jesus' day, people gonna grumble, they gonna talk about us, they may even try to birtharize you and delegitimize us. But we got to insist on taking care of ourselves. Touch somebody and tell them, if you don't take care of yourself, ain't nobody else gonna do it. Now, I really wish this was deep, y'all, but it ain't deep. It's just right here, and it's just what the text is giving us. And Pastor Red, the second thing it suggests that we have to take the risk of not only taking care of ourselves in a hostile context, but we have to take the risk of being vulnerable to other people. Jesus allowed himself to be vulnerable enough for someone to minister to him. Huh? It's in the text, y'all. It's right there. The text tells us that a woman. It's right there, y'all. He got invited there by the brother. But the text tells us that a woman who was a sinner, when she knew Jesus sat at the table in the Pharisee's house, she brought an alabaster of fragrant oil and stood at his feet behind him weeping, and she began to wash his feet with her tears and wiped them with the hair of her head and kissed his feet and anointed them with the fragrant oil. Jesus does not wash his own feet. Y'all still didn't get it. He does not wash his own feet. He allows somebody else to minister to him. He allows somebody else to wipe the dust and the grime off of his old dusty toes. He's been ministering to people all over town, and there he is now in a hostile environment, and he allows himself to be cared for. Some of y'all ain't helping me because I don't know about you, but this scene challenges me. This scene challenges me because as a pastor for over 30 years and being in the church most of my life, I struggle with letting people take care of me. Y'all not helping me. I was so moved just this morning that after 40 years of preaching, over 30-something years of pastoring, for the first time in my ministerial life, a preacher, Harry Ford, came into the pulpit and kissed me and said he loved me. Broke me down in tears. I was deeply touched to know that somebody loved me enough to show some genuine concern. It struck me because I know me. I know I struggle making myself vulnerable enough for people to care for me. I know I may even be a difficult person for people to help me because I don't cry for help. I ain't gonna ask anybody to help me quickly, but just because I don't ask for help doesn't mean I don't need any. Y'all not gonna help me. You preachers ought to be running around the church right now because I see the walls and I see the barriers that so many of us have erected to keep other people out. We build the wall to keep other people out, and then we complain we lonely. Tear down the wall. Are you with me? Because a part of self-care is to allow the humanity of somebody else to touch our humanity. The only way your humanity is going to ever be affirmed if somebody else touches you with their humanity. Now, I know we live in a self-serve world, but there's only so much self-serving that we can do. Talk to me, young Reddick. Young Reddick, we are not wired to be a selfie people. We ain't wired to be selfie people. There comes a time when somebody gonna have to take care of us. And you might as well start working on it right now. Because there's going to come a time in your life sooner than you are ready where somebody's going to have to take care of us. Are y'all with me? There's going to come a time, y'all, when some doctor will have to operate on us. There's going to come a time when some nurse is going to have to care for us. Some loved one going to have to help us out of bed. We have to clean the bedpan, throw the pill down your throat, or change your DPN. Talk to me, somebody. Jesus even told Peter that one day. Said, you might as well get ready. When you were younger, you clothed yourself and you walked where you wish. But when you are old, you're going to stretch out your hands and another will clothe you and carry you where you don't even wish to go. You got to be vulnerable and take the risk. Let somebody else take care of us. We want all these members in our church. What good are they if can't nobody take care of you? It's about where grace shows up and how we respond. Y'all not ready for it? Yeah. It's about where grace shows up and how we gonna respond. Jesus discerned the heart of the Pharisee. Grace had then showed up in his house. And there he is complaining. Grace then showed up. And he discerned the heart of the Pharisee and said, well, I'm going to use this. I'm going to tell a little story. And he told a story about a man who had two debtors. One owed 500 denarii and the other 50. And he forgave them both. And he asked that Pharisee, asked him which one of them loved him more. And the Pharisee, I suppose that the one who forgave the more. Jesus teaches us that when we allow others to take care of us, grace shows up. Y'all not ready? Yeah. Grace shows up, and when grace shows up, we have more of ourselves to give to others. Here he is in a hostile context, invited there by a man, but a woman showed up. A woman who had been stigmatized and marginalized, and she came upon the scene and washed the feet of Jesus. Grace showed up. She added tears of contrition, kisses of humility, and the aromatherapy of a great sacrifice. Because Jesus let her love him, he was able to love her the way she needed to be loved. Y'all know that grace showed up. And he loved her in a way that she needed to be loved, because she knew everything was against her. She knew society had already stigmatized her. But because she loved him and he let her love him, grace showed up. I'm done, y'all. I'm just not finished. Are y'all with me? Because some of you have been self-consumed, brother pastor, and you've never cared about anybody other than yourself. And there's no such thing as self-serving grace. And then others of you, and I think it's most of you, you have exhausted yourself caring for others at the expense of yourself. Jesus wants you to know, if you really love him, take care of yourself. And if you take care of yourself, and if we let others help us, then the love of God will show up. Grace gonna show up. Talk to me, somebody. Be nice to yourself. Grace will show up. Be nice to somebody else, and God will be nice to you. Love yourself just the way you are, and love other people just the way they are. Grace gonna show up. Forgive yourself and forgive other people. Grace gonna show up. Oh, amazing grace. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Whoa, isn't it amazing for that later on in the story, y'all ain't gonna help me, but later on in the story, it appears that Jesus learned something from the woman, because Jesus would take a towel. He would take a towel and wipe the feet of his disciples. The love that he had for himself, it showed up in his love for the church. Grace showed up. And when we take care of ourselves, God will. Won't he do it? Somebody said, beneath his wings